NFL awarded a brand new franchise to the anxiously awaiting city of New Orleans. The owner then was the son of a Texas oil man, his name, John Mecum Jr. He had financed an Indianapolis 500 winner, but running an NFL team proved to be a whole nother deal. But then, of course, back then, this town loved the Saints. The media loved every move they made. And that's where we pick up the discussion with the author, Wayne Mack, about his new book coming out soon called Saga of the Saints.
If you'd go back, as I did, and read the media reports from those years and compare with now, when you've got these beat reporters and television reporters taking umbrage and taking exception to coaches or strategy or techniques and trades and drafts and saying, hey, why'd you do this? Why'd you do that? In those days, nobody could do anything wrong in the franchise. We didn't know that these people Mecum was bringing in didn't know anything about football. He said they did. How do we know? You know? And then the writers, I remember one writer referred to the Saints as, in his column on the game, as our Dixie Darlings. Can you see Jimmy Smith or Bob Marshall or some of these guys? Yeah, right. Yeah, you know. And
Dixie Darlings.
Yeah, our Dixie Darlings.
Give me an impression of Mecum from the first time you met him. 27-year-old owner in the NFL.
He was, John Mecum didn't know how to capitalize on his good points. John Mecum gave an awful lot of money to this city through exhibition games and just through other contributions. The Lions Fund, City Park, locker room facilities. He did a lot. And quite often, I think, you find when someone doesn't know how to handle the business aspect that they have, that they're involved in, then they turn to charity and say, look, I'm a good guy. Mm-hmm. But basically, he was a good guy. He was generous. And the unfortunate thing was that John was just wide-eyed, 27 years old. All at once, he's got a $8.5 million franchise. At one time, John Mecum had 25 people driving Mercedes and just turning the expenses over to him. That's all. I mean, the guy had paid from $15,000 to $20,000 a month at La Louisiane restaurant that his employees ran up, a lot of it entertaining players.
I arrived in New Orleans with Bum Phillips, pretty much, and actually, things got better with Bum.
Well, that first draft was a great draft, and they got better in a way, and yet Bum had this, Bum was a great friend. If you're his friend and you only have one leg, but you need a job playing football, he'll sign you, which is what he did with some of Mecum's money.
Yes.
He brought in Bob Young, who had a 48-inch waist. He was a 40-year-old who had played a lot of good football for the Cardinals before going to Houston. Bum brought him in and signed him to a contract, put him on injured reserve, and was paying him $10,000 a game, when no starter on the team was making $10,000 a game.
I remember that.
So, you know, he took care of people.
In the end, the Mecum thing and the relationship with Bum, and Bum was a friend of John Mecum. It almost cost this town its franchise, didn't it?
Well, they were serious about going to Jacksonville, but in Mecum's defense, Jacksonville offered him a very lucrative proposition. A guaranteed sellout for 10 years, all kind of concession rights and everything else, and he could have walked away also with about $35 million. But he didn't do it. And I think it's to his credit that he elected to give Tom Benson a chance to buy the team and keep it here.
Well, I can tell you this, there is a whole lot more juicy stuff in Wayne Mack's Saga of the Saints, and I can tell you from today's media point of view, you don't have to